What's good, guys? So Meta earnings were crap, and the actual top line, bottom line was not bad at all. They beat, but the stock is down massively, and a lot of people are very confused because we see something like Meta where they beat, but the stock's down huge, and then we see something like Tesla where the raw numbers were just pretty, awful, but we saw the stock run, and we know why Tesla ran. If you don't know, then please go back and watch all the comprehensive videos that we've done on their most recent earnings. But this whole thing for Meta was guidance, and guidance was not good. And we made a video on X saying that there is an 80% chance that we are going to get a sell-off down to $456 within the next couple of days. And I get a lot of love and I get a lot of hate here on the internet, especially the hate for like, oh yes, because there's a shark pattern, or because there's this pattern, or because some patterns in here that the stock is going to fall. And there's kind of a caveat to that, because at the end of the day, yes, like patterns and data and actually being able to look at thousands of trades and patterns and see how they play out, like that's legitimate. That's how I'm a successful and profitable trader. Now, it doesn't mean that because the specific pattern is happening that Meta was going to have poor earnings. Like obviously that doesn't correlate to the fundamentals. But what you have to understand is when we're looking at patterns, we're looking at candles. When we're looking at candles, we're looking at not just price action, but human psychology. What is the collective? Not you and me, not just buffoons behind the internet, but people who can actually move the market. What are they doing? And that's why our entry requirements to enter or exit a position are based upon very key specific things that when certain supports break or certain resistances break, that in most cases we're going to see big moves because psychologically we're through a specific level. And so the reason here that we thought that there is a massive chance that we were going to see the sell-off is because we broke through this support here. And you can see that we bounced off of this liquidity zone here 1, 2, 3 times, but once that structure was fully taken out and broken, in most cases what will happen is price will bounce off of this support back up somewhere, usually 50 to 60% of what this impulse is, right to the 0.618, and then price will not be able to push to a higher high because the people who can actually push it to a higher high are not going to do it because they've been filling positions for years, when Meta was half the price of what it is right now. And unfortunately, the only people who are going to be buying into this is usually going to be retail, which is why I try to make these videos in helping people to not be the ones getting stuck holding the bag. And so once we usually get a rejection from that level, we were looking at an optimal trade entry of 504, which is a little early. Then we look for the subsequent sell-off to break through support of 480. And then we sit our target here at $455. The reason for that is because this here was an old support back when we had earnings back in February. So the fact that this is an old support means that this is our new target, and that if we're going to bounce, it's probably going to be, unless you give terrible guidance, then we'll just break through that support level and absolutely capitulate. And now the reason that once we broke 460, we just saw this drain is because if we look at the volume profile, which is this right horizontal line here on the right side of your screen in gray, this is going to show you at what levels there's the most buying and the most selling within the past year. And you're going to see that the most amount of buying and selling that we have here on Meta is going to be basically from 340 all the way down to 300, with most of it being right here at $300 where point of control is. The second area that we have is going to be up here between 506 and $460. And so I'm telling you guys, now that this is completely filled, this gap is going to fill into tomorrow. There's just no way in hell that Meta doesn't sell off at least another 6%. So that's going to be from where our short entry would have been up there down to about 400 is 21%. There's a chance that, from here, as we sold off, that we could potentially bounce off of 400 and do what's called a dead cat, which means that we would come all the way back up. We would trap everybody who got in up at 500 into thinking, oh, now is the recovery, we're going to make a higher high. And then instead, we reject back down to $340. But I don't think that $340 mark would end up happening until next earnings, in August. So this here is like realistically, and I'm not all about I'm not mapping this out and trading this, but if someone said to me dude, how do you think price action is going to move over the next couple of months? This is how I see it. I think we're going to pull down to 400, quick bounce off of 400, test $460, reject off of 460, and probably sell into a lower low we'll see what happens with earnings. If you guys want to trade with me every day, get access to all my trades, get access to all of our indicators, my exact system of trading, my exact protocol, what I do step by step, because we have multiple trading systems depending upon the type of person that you are, the type of risk that you have, type of capital that you have. More importantly, if you're a full-time worker, because if you can't be in front of the charts all day, it doesn't matter if you have the best trading strategy in front of you. So I hope that this helps, guys, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.